Hey everyone. I'm going to go over the answers to this worksheet really quick. Just want to make sure that we don't forget these quadratic equation solving techniques, because this is something that you're going to use basically all the time going forward in Math 3 and calculus and beyond. So I'm going to go pretty quickly through these. Let's get started. Wrong button. Try this again. Okay, so this first one, we're going to try factoring this, -10. Let's go through our list. 1, -10, 2, -5, and there's my solution there. Well, not quite my solution. There's my factoring numbers, and my solutions are going to be the opposite of those signs, 2 and -5. Okay, let's do this next one. So first step is to make it equal to 0. So I'm subtracting 12 from both sides. Oop. Go back here. So subtracting 12 from both sides, I get this. Factoring this, x minus 4, x plus 3 equals 0. So the solutions are 4 and -3. This one, subtracting 36 from both sides, we're going to get x, 36. Let's go through this. 1 and 36, 2, -18, 3, -12, 4, -9. Oh, there, I'm seeing it. Let's flip those signs around, and that's the one that I want. So we got x minus 4, x plus 9 equals 0. So the solutions are 4 and -9. Okay, let's roll down to these other ones. Nope, just one more at the bottom there. Okay, let's do that one. Okay, so here, I want to make this equal to 0. We're going to subtract 4x from both sides and also add 4 to both sides. So when we do that, we get x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. And we factor this. This is a perfect square. And here, we're only going to have one solution, x equals 2. Now, if I were to graph this, it would look like this. That's 2, y-intercept of 4. And it only touches the x-axis at 1 point. And so you got one solution to that, x equals 2. Okay, let's go over to the other column now and do those guys. Okay, so x squared equals 3x. For this one, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides, factoring an x out of both of those, and that gives us our solutions, x equals 0, 3. And plug those in and see if they work. 0 squared is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, so 0 works 3, 3 squared is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, so that works. Okay, this next one, let me zoom in. This one's a little bit more work. So let's factor out a 5x from both of those terms. Now, because this is equal to 0, one option is 5x is 0. The other option is 2x plus 1 is 0. Solving these out, x could be 0, or x could be equal to -1/2. And I'm skipping a little bit of algebra there. Okay, this next guy, x squared minus 9. I can factor this, x minus 3, x plus 3 equals 0, giving me plus -3 as solutions. Or I can add 9 to both sides, get x squared equals 9, and I'm still going to get x equals plus -3. Either way you want to solve that is fine. Okay, this last one here is interesting. This one's kind of similar. Now, let me go back and do that last question a bit more neatly, and I'll show you how it's similar. On this one, let's add 9 to both sides. When I do that, I get x squared equals 9, and now I'm taking the square root, x equals plus -3. We're going to do the same kind of thing here. We're going to first add 9 to both sides. Now that's going to give me this guy, x minus 1 squared equals 9. Now, just like the layers of an onion, I'm trying to peel them away to get x all by itself at some point down there. So, to peel off that next layer, the x squared, we're going to take the square root of both sides. Square root, square root. Now, remember here, when we take the square root, we're going to get a plus minus. So we don't need those parentheses anymore either. X minus 1 equals plus minus 3. So then we got two different options. One option is x minus 1 equals 3. The other option is x minus 1 equals negative 3. Adding 1, x equals 4. Adding 1, x equals negative 2. And so those are your two solutions. Another way of solving this is you could expand that out. X squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 9 equals 0. X squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. And when you factor this, you would get the same thing. X minus 4, x plus 2, giving you the same two solutions, positive 4 and negative 2. Okay, let's flip this page over to the back and do these. So these are 3 questions that I don't think will factor. I think these are quadratic equation questions. So let's do these. Okay, this first one, we are going to plug this into the quadratic equation. And we got negative 6 plus or minus 6 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So negative 6 plus or minus 36 minus, negative, going to be a positive 40 all over 2. Negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 76 over 2. Now, if you got there, that's like 99% correct, but it's not in the most simplified, neatest form. We can go a bit further here, and we can remember that 4 goes into 76. So 4 goes into 76, how many times? Let's check. 4, 36, 19 times. All over 2. Okay, and let me erase this. So, going back here, let's keep on simplifying that. It's going to be negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 4, square root of 19 over 2. Negative 6 plus or minus 2 square roots of 19 over 2. And we're still not done yet. Last little simplification. We can break this apart into 2 different fractions. Negative 6 over 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 19 over 2, which is negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 19. Now let's do this a different way and see if we get the same answer. Let's use the complete the square method. So we're going to put this into vertex form. Half of 6 is 3. Bring down the 10. Subtract that number squared equals 0. And I've got x plus 3 squared minus 19 equals 0. Adding 19 to both sides, x plus 3 squared equals 19. Square root, x plus 3 equals plus minus square root of 19. Subtract 3, x equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 19. And that actually seems a lot easier. I think when the coefficient is equal to 1, it's easier to use the complete the square method. So let's actually go and do that with this next one. So here, let's do x plus 4 minus 1 minus 16 equals 0. Now notice I did a little step in between here. I subtracted 1 from both sides. Okay, and so now I've got x plus 4 squared minus 17 equals 0. X plus 4 squared equals 17. X plus 4 equals plus minus square root of 17. So x equals negative 4 plus minus square root of 17. All right, last one. This one is just a big haul that involves some negative numbers. So let's do it. So quadratic equation, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus 80 over 4. Negative 7 plus or minus, now 49 minus 80, what's that going to be? 31? Negative 31 all over 4. Okay, because I have a negative under a square root sign, I have to pop out the letter I. And that actually is going to be the final answer. You can't go any further than that because 31's prime. Okay, that's it, guys.